Hey, what's going on? Ben Atkins here from fearlesssocial.com. And if you run webinars, you're always looking for ways to double and triple and quadruple your sales. If you can just get one extra sale, it's usually a really big deal. So this is one of the simplest things, and I'm a little embarrassed to even teach this technique, but I see a lot of people missing the boat on it. So I thought, why not teach it? Because it's going to help a lot of people who do webinars and sell via webinars. It's something called the master link technique. It's a simple thing that when I made this change, when I started doing this, started getting more webinar sales just because of this super simple thing that we were doing. So I'm going to walk you through real quick and show you how simple it is, and I think you're going to really dig it. So let's go into the master link technique. Okay, so first thing is, this is what a normal webinar promo cycle looks like. All right, so when we do a webinar, we usually run ads and we usually send out emails to our existing customers. And that's basically how we get people to our webinars. So this is what we normally do on the email side. So let's say our webinar is on Thursday. I'm going to start off typically on a Monday and send a pre-email and, let people know, hey, this is coming. This is, setting up what we've got. And we can get into a ton of how you set up these emails. But right now, let's just go into what we do. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're sending out 3 emails. Okay. So in those emails, we've got links to go to the webinar sign-up page. Then we're going to have a little bit of a reminder email before we actually do the webinar on the actual day. After the webinar, we go and we send a couple emails on Friday or Saturday, 2 days after typically, and it's got a link to the replay page. So we did the webinar live, and now we've got the replay up, and we're sending out emails to promote that. And then we'll do a closing day sequence where we may send out multiple emails, and then the offer closes. So that's the general sort of setup here. Now, there's a big problem that I see a ton of people doing, and I did it for at least 2.5 to 3 years, okay? So this is what it normally looks like. All right, so we're going to have the pre-mails. You're going to have a link to the sign-up page, right? So we have links to the sign-up page. The reminder email on that day, we have links to the sign-up page. And then once you get into these post emails here after the webinar and then the closing day sequence, we've got a completely different link. So we're having a different link that goes to the replay pages. Now, that may not seem like such a big deal, but think about it. You just slam someone's inbox for 4 days in a row, and now this link is effectively dead. So anybody that goes, maybe didn't check their email that week, they go and check these emails, they see these emails, and they've got a link that's going to a dead webinar sign-up page or a webinar that's already passed, and you've just wasted all this traffic. And if you don't think that anybody clicks these links, well, you're not watching your stats. I started watching my stats, and it was astounding to see how many people were clicking through these early links, and bless their heart, they were going to a dead page, and I was just losing that traffic. So if they missed these post emails, then lost the sale. And you wouldn't think that would be such a big deal. You'd think, okay, well, maybe they'd go find it or they'd hit me up for a link. But that's effort. And anytime you can decrease the effort to get to the page where they can buy from you, it's a huge, huge deal. So we started doing something called the master link technique, okay? And first I'm going to kind of show you what it is. But basically, we have a master link that goes through. So we have, if you mask links, if you do things where you have, you can change links out, we have one link that is going to one place, and then it goes to the same place throughout the entire week. What we do is, though, instead of going to the sign-up page on the day of the webinar, like right as soon as we get done with the webinar, we will change where this master link points, and it will now point to the replay page. Now, let me sort of show you how to do this and how we normally do it. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to click into my browser, and we use a service called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is great for us because it helps me build pages fast, helps my staff build pages fast. So what we've got here is we've got 4 different pages. I've got a webinar registration page, which is where we would send them those first few days. We've got a webinar thank you. This is where after they sign up, they're going to end up on this thank you page, which gives them a little bit of information. And then after the webinar, we'll have a webinar replay page set up. And of course, we've got a sales page where all of these things end up. We want people to hit the sales page. So what happens is in ClickFunnels, you can click into this page and you can go over to the publishing section and you can actually download the HTML. So if you click that, the HTML is actually going to download to your desktop or to wherever your downloads go. Okay, so now that's important. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get in here and we're going to go into my desktop. So you can see here on my desktop, I've got the webinar registration page. We've downloaded the HTML and the webinar replay page. Now, what I'm going to do now is open up my FTP. So this is the site where we've actually put this stuff. So if you were to type into your browser, it was fearlesssocial.com, which is our website, fearlesssocial.com/secrets/content marketing. That was where this would go to. And what happened was the index file, we had taken this registration, we had put it into here, and once we uploaded it, we had changed it to index.html instead of this webinar registration. So that was there for 3-4 days when other people were coming in. And that was just fine until we got to the replay. So what happens is when we got to the replay, we would then take our replay page with the replay on it, we would upload it, and it would upload to the actual server. So it uploaded the actual server. So here's what we would do next. We would go in and we would say, you know what? We actually want to get rid of this link here. So we would get rid of this. And we're going to change this to index.html. So effectively what happens is now that exact same link that we've been promoting through all of our emails now leads to our replay page. It's the same URL. It's fearlesssocial.com/secrets/content marketing. But now anybody that's clicking on any of the links we have out there, it goes to the right page. So if we were to jump back into here, we now have this link that we promoted for a while, fearlesssocial.com/secrets/content marketing. That was the webinar link. It was going to this master link, which was the registration page, but we changed it by deleting it. Same URL for anybody that's interested. And now it goes to the replay page. So all of these emails are now not wasted for anybody that goes back. Now, here's the other thing. We also put out Facebook ads before the call. So I had something that looked like this ad. Here was the URL. And what's bad is I like to leave those posts up because it's interesting, right? And folks that come to this later can say, oh, I missed it, but let me click through and see what's there. And they'll actually land on, instead of the registration page, which is where this originally sent them, it now sends them to the replay page. So it's to the person that's clicking through, to the email, to any of that stuff, it's like that nothing ever changed. You can click this link, and of course it went to registration before, but now it's going to where it needs to. So I hopefully helped you a little bit. That seems like such a simple thing, I realize. And if you're already doing it, you're like, well, come on, Ben, really? That helps a ton. But I have seen huge businesses screw this up where they send out a ton of links. They run ads to one link, and then that link pretty much dies once the webinar is over because now they're sending out a different link to go to the replay. But just that one change using the master link technique gets you more sales because more traffic hits your page, more interested traffic hits your page, and they're not getting lost because they're trying to go to a page that is now invalid or shut down. So there you go. So one more key thing before we get in here, let's just do a little bonus, right? Little bonus tip here. And this is huge. If you are in GoToWebinar, and we use GoToWebinar because it's a great service. If you're in GoToWebinar, this is something else that I set up. So this was the webinar that it was in question. But what I do is I click into my webinar and we go into look at this stuff. So this is what you're going to see in GoToWebinar. And down here at the bottom, you're going to see follow-up emails. So it's sending, reminder emails, but we've got follow-up emails. So I want to send a follow-up email to my attendees, the people that actually came to the call, but I also want to send them to the absentees. When we send this out, all of our attendees are going to get an email with guess what link? Yeah, the link that I showed you before, the one that would change. I'm just saying, hey, glad you came to the call. If you missed anything, here's the link to the replay. And I set all this stuff in advance because remember, we're using the master link, so I don't have to change any links up. Now, my absentees get one that says basically in the subject line, hey, we missed you. If you weren't able to get to the call, you signed up, but you weren't able to come, here's a link, and that's also our master link. So that's the general feel of it. And like I said, it all works because we are using this master link that we switched over inside of our FTP with doing that on our website. So there you go. Like I said, seems like such a simple and silly thing, but I guarantee you it's going to lead to more sales. We've seen it as much as double our sales when we were doing this technique versus when we don't. All right, for more, visit us at fearlesssocial.com. We've got lots of cool stuff like this all the time. Just tiny little things that you can make small changes and get big results with your online marketing. So Ben Adkins here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk with you soon.